But last time I saw this man, we were at a joint NFL camp in Michigan in 2018. The Giants and the Lions held scrimmages while sorting out their squads. He played for his childhood team, the Detroit Lions, as he grew up across the Detroit River in Windsor, Ontario. But opportunity knocked across the country. So he's taken his talents to the Bay to suit up for the Oakland Raiders in 2019. A great blocker, a fierce competitor, pretty good hands, and a Super Bowl champion. Luke Willson, welcome back to the Cabbie Presents podcast, sir.
Appreciate it, man. That juice right there, man. I'm hyped. Let's go right now. You've got that down.
Let's go get some wind sprints in and maybe run a couple of hills a la Jerry Rice and Karl Malone. Guys that are just before, Karl Malone didn't play football, but guys who I remember running hills in the summertime in order to get their work in.
That one hill for Jerry Rice is like pretty infamous around all the NFL guys. That, and the rumor was he used to catch bricks.
Jerry Rice?
Yes, like that's how he had these good hands. I've never confirmed that, but apparently he used to catch bricks, man. That's what they say.
Wait, but who would throw them?
I'm not that deep into the story, but I'm like 95% sure that's his MO. He ran that hill and he caught bricks.
That sounds like urban legend, but it sounds like, maybe that's true. But then how far were bricks being thrown?
That's a great question, but if I'm Jerry Rice and someone's like, yo, man, heard you got great hands from catching bricks, I'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what I did, whether I did it or not.
You would feed into that legend.
Yeah, like you said, he's the greatest of all time, so it's like one of those things where even with, not that I know this, but I feel like probably a lot of stuff, not a lot, but some of the stories with Michael probably get exaggerated over time. But if I'm Michael, I'd never deny any of it.
That's a good point, as long as they're good ones.
Yes, for sure.
I'd like to start this podcast with the toughest questions first.
I like that.
Which baseball team owns your rights?
The Blue Jays.
Still?
I would assume so.
Listen, they need a left-handed bat and some pitching. So are you... Yeah, I know you're 28, but, baseball careers can last into their... How old is Bartolo Colon?
The guy...
50? And he's about 350?
No doubt.
Big sexy?
No doubt. Just throwing cheese up there, man.
And I think it was last... Like, he still does strike out a few...
No doubt.
A couple of years ago, didn't he? I think he hit a home run, which was incredible. Just watching that dude chug around the bases.
Baseball is always that one sport when I'm not trying to degrade any baseball players because these guys have to have. They're playing 162 games. It's all day, but sometimes I'm like, man, these body types come on there. And I'm like, this dude's a pro athlete making tens of millions of dollars right here. Like, what is this guy? They look like trash. Not all of them. But I'm like, geez,
bags
man.
Of milk.
Yes. He's got the milk bag body. What's going on here? He's like, oh, that's one of the best baseball players on planet Earth. I'm like, damn, dude, looks like they're living the dream, man, from the outside in. Listen,
I saw one of my earliest experiences going into an NFL locker room. I went to the Arizona Cardinals, and I saw Adrian Willson, who was a free safety. That dude's body was built out of marble.
Yeah.
And I just saw the dude's back, and I was like, there's so many muscles on his back.
Yeah. And
then... Conversely, I actually went to the Detroit Tigers, and Miguel Cabrera was there at the time. I think actually Prince Fielder, way different body types, more similar to mine. And I am not a professional athlete, nor have I dedicated 30 years of my life just to high performance and training. So to your point, that's right. But listen, the Blue Jays, they could use a left-handed bat, and they're currently somewhere between 25 and 30 games under 500. This is not coming from Mark Shapiro, but are you potentially interested in joining the Blue Jays because they could use your help?
Am I interested? Yeah, of course. Are they interested? Absolutely not.
They shouldn't be.
Okay,
as long as you can still rake.
In batting practice, I could definitely hit a bunch of bombs, but if you need somebody to go out there, put a show on in BP and then come out and go 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a pop-up, I'm your guy. And then just be an absolute defensive liability. If they're looking for that role player, I'm him. Yeah.
Sold. I think someone's going to go deep into their email archives and just and then find that contract and be like, let's dust this off.
Moneyball. That's exactly what we want.
And listen, as long as you get on base, Luke, that's where the value is. Scoring runs and getting on base.
For at least a week, if I could get on base, which is a huge if, I feel like I can still run a little bit and I don't look like it. You see a 6'5" dude out there, like this guy, I could probably steal a couple bases.
Nice.
I swear on that. I don't know if I get the good jump like off the pitcher, but I at least it's not one of those, you see those third base coaches like, this should be an easy run when the guy's round third. We're like, no, this guy can barely walk, let alone run.
Right.
I wouldn't be that guy.
It's all about angles when you cut to go down the third baseline to home. Dude, you should be faster than 90% of MLB players.
I would say that I'm not trying to be like boastful, but I would say that if I wasn't, I'd be upset. Like, there's definitely guys in the league that can just fly.
I think Tim Anderson is one dude from the White Sox who's just got wheels for days.
For sure. And I'm not saying that I could walk into the MLB and be the top 5 fastest guy, so I don't want anybody thinking that. But I'd be surprised if I wasn't at least number 3 or 4 on every team. Some of these guys, you see them running around, I'm like, dude, this will be like an infield signal for sure, and they're being thrown out by 6 steps.
Yeah.
It's like they're running in quicksand out there.
Okay, so speaking of slow, you're a former quarterback, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
He showed off his beer chugging skills after Aaron Rodgers was shown courtside during the Milwaukee Bucks Toronto Raptors series in Eastern Conference Finals. He couldn't finish. He was trying to chug a beer and he couldn't finish it. And he put the finger up. He's like, "Hold on, give me a second." Matthew Stafford later that night was at a bar with
our punter, I believe. I believe our punter was there, Sam Martin.
Right, and just chugged the beer. Like that was maybe the quickest he's moved in that season. Using beers as a reference point, how was your season with the Detroit Lions? Was it like a 2-4, just to drown out some of your sorrows, or was it a few drinks here and there because it was a half decent season?
So for me personally, or for the Detroit Lions?
Well, okay, we know the Detroit. Weren't you guys 6-10?
Yeah, it was not a great
Okay, so
year.
that's a 2-4.
So for
but
me,
then for you personally,
not that I did this. All right, let's put that out there. Not that I did this, but hypothetically, let's say you're in high school, maybe you're 17 or 18 and you're trying to sneak out some beer from the beer store because one of your buddies has a fake ID. Okay.
Shout out to McLovin.
Yes. You all, scrounge together your $6 that you have laying around and you get the cheapest beer out there. And you're like, oh, this is going to be great. And then you take that first sip of the beer and you're like, wow, this is one of the worst things I've ever tasted. But you're 18 and you can't show weakness at that point. That's how I would describe how my season went personally. Going into it, I was pretty hyped. I'm like, man, I just got a case of beer. We're underage.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it was like, dude, this is going to be a little bit rough.
Right.
Is that a good analogy?
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I think any of the
Can you relate to that?
Oh, 100%. and I think of like those early. I think it was like
one of them was Wildcat for us. There's a beer called Wildcat.
That sounds disgusting.
That's exactly how the season went for your boy over here.
I think we had Mad Dog. Do you remember Mad Dog?
Yep, that would, yeah.
Also, Vile. And actually, the first time I tried OE, only because it was like OE and like Snoop had rapped about it, Dr. Dre, like the West Coast, those dudes like, sipping, Old English. Malt liquor is not that, it's certainly not to like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid.
Not ideal.
It's just kind of.
Yes.
You're not a dude that's like very you're demonstrative when you score touchdowns, which is awesome. Open up the gates of heaven or earth when you that's where that primordial scream comes from.
That's right.
Which I love. And so, but you're not one of these dudes that like stomps around on the sidelines if you're not getting enough targets so how do you communicate to a quarterback when you're either beating your coverage or you're finding space in the secondary? Is it like, do you just a look, or is it like any kind of signal? I mean, I don't want you to give them away, but how do you signal to your play caller that, hey, give me some attention?
For me, I've been pretty fortunate in the sense of the two guys that I've played with are both like very premier guys, with Russell in Seattle and Matt Stafford last year. So like for example, last year, I don't tell Stafford a damn thing, all right, because he knows what he's doing. And I always say when I see guys and even for fans, it's like, oh, this guy was open. It's like, yeah, but that's not necessarily like there's progressions they have to go through. They don't understand, like, okay, I was blocked by, we've got a 6'4" 3-tech that's right in my face right now, and I can't really look right. I got to move left. I got to make quick decisions. So it's like being open and being wide open, I'll be a little upset if I'm the number one guy in progression, or if I'm the 2 guy and the coverage shows like throw to the 2 guy. Like sometimes it's like, okay, I'm the number 4 guy here. Yeah, I won, but like this ball, although I'm open, shouldn't actually come to me. So if something like that like does happen, I will, like, my general thought is like, I'll go up and be like, hey man, if you're in trouble or this, that, and the other, like I'm really winning on this route backside or whatever. But I don't really have that worry as much with the guys that I've played with in the past, because Like last year, Matt Stafford, this guy's dialed in, man. Like he knows. It's not like he's just playing backyard football out there. This guy knows where the ball should be thrown, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And I like how you say I'm winning.
Yeah.
Like that's the expression that you guys use when you're on your 1v1 battles with
yes.
whoever's covering you, whether it's
a lot of it too goes to
linebacker or
coaching too. So it's like at that level, I was actually telling someone this the other day, but it's like I'm a little biased, but I think coaching in football is probably the most important compared to all of the other team sports. And we probably have 10 guys on offense, and each of them have like a legitimate role. It's not like, yo, this guy's just there buying time to like be a stepping stone. It's like, no, on game day, like our tight end coach needs to know exactly what we're doing. He needs to see that and be like, hey, Luke's running this. We've got this kind of leverage. Like, keep this in mind. He's got to be relaying this information to the OC because the OC is in the middle of a crazy chess game he's trying to put us in the best position to win.
Yeah.
Again, I think that a lot of times when you get these guys that kind of throw the crazy antics on the sideline, depending on the situation, a lot of those should be either one, more directed towards the offensive coordinator, and two, you should have a little sympathy for these quarterbacks. Man, I got to go out there and be like, yo, Luke, on this play, you got a 10-yard out route. This guy's got 5 or 6 guys coming to rush him. He's got a blitz coming off the weak side. The DN just dropped, and there's 12 routes going on. Like, not 12, but 3 different route calls. You know what I'm saying? You got to make progression. It's like, hey, miss one. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if I'd be able to find one, let alone miss one, So I don't really feel like it's my place to tell these quarterbacks what the hell they should be doing.
You mentioned Russell Wilson just a few moments ago, and Russell used to have like almost like a mini camp where him and the receivers would go Hawaii or whatever. You guys did that 2 or 3 times, right? Like 13, 14, 15, or 14 to 16 or something like that. Now, your new quarterback, Derek Carr, has he organized anything like that, or have you played catch with him so far this summer while in preparation for the 19 season?
Like you're saying outside of the OTA stuff.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so...
and you can explain what Russell used to do.
Yeah, so it was actually a lot of fun. Russ, the first year we went to Hermosa Beach. Everybody loves Hermosa Beach.
They really do.
Yeah, it's a great place.
For obvious reasons.
I think you were down there the one year.
I may have been.
I think we linked up at Hermosa Beach one year, man. I think that might have happened, right? This was been a half a decade ago, but I'm pretty sure. Anyways.
Shout out to Jamba Juice. That's the only kind of juice that I was consuming in Hermosa Beach.
So, usually he would do it before going back to off season. So be like, hey, we're gonna head back into, which is mid-April. And he'd set something up like, yo, I've got when you're big time like Russ, you usually have the big airline sponsorships.
Right,
like,
Alaska Airlines.
Yes. So
you guys,
like, yo, you got a first class ticket. You got to call this, that, and the other. He'd set it up. It'd be all great. And it'd be one of those things where we'd work out in the morning, get a solid amount of routes in, something like that, and then set up some like team bonding events afterwards.
Was karaoke one of them?
It was not. I'm trying to think of, we might have went bowling the one year.
Bowling's fun. That's legit.
And especially when you have big guys flinging these bowling balls that have never like bowled before, it's usually pretty comical.
Right.
I mean, the best case scenario for strikes is not necessarily throwing it down the middle. It's throwing it so hard that the pins rattle around off the side. You know what I'm saying?
They take out the other pins.
Yes, it's just like
really
pure
aggressive
carnage in there, man. You feel me? That's my strategy. But so I mean, if it goes down the middle, it's great. But at least if you can clip these things and just get them like
almost to explode.
Yes, exactly.
At the end of the lane.
And even not to just go down the bowling thing, but it's like suspenseful when the thing's like you just nicked it enough where it's like wiggling back and forth. It's like, did you have enough strength to get this thing down? But so we do kind of some team bonding stuff. Then we went Hermosa. The one year we did Hawaii, which was really cool. First time in Hawaii. Have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have not, no.
To be honest with you, man, it was a little, I was 24, 25 at the time. It was a little coupley. I don't know if I'd go back.
Right.
No disrespect to Hawaii, but, when you're single, 24-year-old, that's not the place to be. Right.
To your point, actually, counterpoint,
yes.
Good friend of mine, Hawaii is his move, and his move is hotel lobby bar or restaurant bar. And then if there are any single ready to mingle ladies out there, then they will find, he's like you, he's a good-looking dude. Like, he's like 6'2". But that is his Hawaii move. I'm like, guy, you're just going to Waikiki for 6 days? Yeah. I'm like, to do what? Just to be in nature or whatever it did. But then we come back with a nice handful of stories.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
I got you.
Sorry, please. Hawaii is generally a couple's destination.
Maybe there's a niche in there. He's saying this guy's got a niche.
No, he found that one. He's working in the margins.
Yes,
the small margins, but he's having some success in the margins.
No doubt. Good for him, man. That's Econ 101 right there. This guy's educating. All right, but anyway, so we went to Hawaii. Sorry, I'm getting off track.
No, I love it. I love it.
Went to Hawaii. We did 1 year in Hollywood in LA. Did everything at USC, which was kind of cool. Like, there's a lot of history at the USC stuff, so kind of being around there was pretty neat. And to answer your question, this is where I kind of feel bad. Was we did do a 2-day thing with Oakland, and it was somewhat recently, but I didn't go, man.
Oh, that's why you feel bad.
I didn't go. That's
or
why
was
I
it a
feel
disaster?
Bad. No,
and that's why you feel bad.
It was like a last-minute thing. I was kind of schedule-wise all over the map, and I was in Florida, and I had my flight booked home, kind of see the family before I head out. So it was one of those things where I was like, all right, if I got to leave Florida, head to Cali for like a 2-day, and I think this one was a little more laid back, and then go back to Detroit, drive over the border for a few days. I was like, that's a lot on the body. I was in a pretty strict training regimen at the time.
Okay.
I hope Derek Carr doesn't hate me, man. I haven't seen him since.
I guess you'll find out.
I don't think he will, but we'll find out.
You'll find out how many balls get tossed your way in
That's
the
right.
19th
Like, am I
season.
going to get the stank eye when I show up next week? I don't know.
Hopefully not. I was talking to Emmanuel Sanders recently, and he works with that the Footwork. Have you seen the Footwork King on like Twitter or Instagram? Rashad.
Yes, I've seen some of the clips.
Rashad Whitfield is this dude's name.
Okay.
And a lot of dudes. They like to show the work that they're putting in the offseason via social media, which is cool because the audience will get to see these crazy footwork drills or just like guys rehabbing. And you're a dude that you don't show us. You might show us like the aftermath where you're posing with like a training coach at a facility, but you're not like James Harrison, dragging 45s on a sled with his friggin' neck.
He's the go when it comes to that stuff.
In a 5X sweatsuit.
Or even like just got home from a road game and it's like, I didn't even go home. I landed at 1.
Remember that?
Now I'm deadlifting 700 pounds. It's like, dude, you had a 7-hour flight on the body and played 40 NFL snaps, man. Like, it's impressive.
It is. So how come you don't show? Like, why do you make that decision not to show us that part of your world?
There's a couple of reasons. One is it's kind of like an unwritten code amongst a lot of the guys. Like, even the posts that I do post, I will immediately get guys like, oh, sweet, man, you working out like you think nobody else is. So maybe part of it is the peer pressure. Shout out Nick Bellore, current Seattle Seahawks fullback. Okay. Former Detroit Lions fullback. This guy is just hounding me on social media. Okay. But so that's part of it.
Okay.
Another part of it is I don't have anyone to film it.
Oh, okay.
Like some of these guys who are like sitting there, I'm like, who the hell is filming this, man? Like I work out generally by myself with a like athletic trainer. I'm never, when I say by myself, like I pretty much always have a set of eyes on me, but I'm not a small group guy. And if I am, it's usually like other NFL dudes. So it's not like we're sitting there. This isn't like Instagram chicks at the beach here. Like, hey, her boyfriend's taking the photo, man. That's not how these things work.
Have you seen that account, Boyfriends of Instagram?
Yes.
Just tremendous.
Tremendous, man. And then the last thing I would say, and this is God's honest truth, man. This might be a little funny.
I appreciate this, by the way. You're saying that.
Part of the reason I do put on there, like the odd tidbit, or like I'll put on like, hey man, great this, great that, is because when I was younger, there was kind of a rumor circulating around about me that I was a bit of a party boy.
Okay.
That stuff like gets up to GMs and such.
Oh.
And it's like, yo, this guy doesn't take this job serious, man. What's he doing? Then it's like, that's the thing that I don't like about social media. And I know a guy who legitimately told me, he's like, man, I went into a facility once, put 225 on the bar, set up a little box. He had shorts and a tee on, got onto the bar, had somebody film him doing a box step up with 225 pounds on his back.
Oh, wow.
Put it on Instagram, racked the bar, and left. And it's like, you don't really know, like, what the hell everyone's really doing. And it's like, so my biggest thing was, as like a player, depending on your situation, and you know me, like I'm a more laid back guy. If you're a pretty like serious, like, hey, I'm a family man. I'm not too many GMs are worried about what you're doing, but like, I legitimately think that there are some GMs out there that are kind of like, not so much now. I've been in the league, but when I was in year 2, year 3, like rumors circulate about guys, man. It's like, oh, if all you see is me on social media just being a buffoon. It's like these guys be like, oh, this guy's a party dude, like blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
blah.
he's not serious, that sort of thing.
So it's like I kind of like to dude, don't worry, I like to have fun. But you got to, like, for me, especially on social media, like I don't really put a ton of party stuff on there for that exact reason. And I don't put a ton of really anything on there, but I'll put like kind of like, hey, I was in Florida for 2 weeks. So that if anybody is like, oh, what's this guy all about? I know it sounds like coy, but that's
listen,
the industry, man.
No, that's part of what part of it is just your image.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you taking us behind the curtain.
That's literally how my brain works sometimes. I'm like, I can't be on here like, hey, what's up? I'm at Marble in Toronto tonight. Shout out my guy, Peter.
Gurgis.
Let's go. My guy, I'm going to see him. I haven't told him I'm in town, man. I'm going to see him this weekend.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't tell him because then I'm in big trouble.
Yes, then you're going to show up in his Instagram story, etc. And thank you for letting us know that that's what you do as you rack the 225 on your shoulder.
That's not me, man. It's not me.
I with the straight bar doing step-ups or box jumps.
Dude, you'll never find me with I'm not a big step-up guy, so that's not me, man.
Did you see what Myles Garrett was doing? That dude was, I think
squatting. He was squatting the house, man.
I think he was doing box jumps with 250s or 200.
Yes, I did see that.
And that dude's already, 285?
He's got to be up there. I did see that whole thing, and I'm like, it was very impressive.
Did you see the Aaron Donald? He was doing another dude that's like.
He's a guy that I'm more familiar with because when I was in Seattle playing him with the Rams every year, it'd be like.
Oh, so you'd always, coming off the line.
I wouldn't really. They'd have only that week. Tight ends usually don't block the 3-techs, but it was like every single time we played the Rams, whatever you want to call them, St. Louis for the first half, then L.A., it was always like, hey, we got a new run play this weekend. We're going to try and trap Aaron Donald with the tight end. I'm like.
So that's you doing that.
That's great,
that's
guys.
you doing that work.
Like that. But I get it. Like they're trying to keep him off balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he hasn't seen this. If we can get one of these in early, now maybe he's looking around like, okay, I got to be aware of something else. But
so how did it go? How did it go for you?
Not well, man. What do you mean? Not well. They put me in a position to win, but it's not like I'm gonna ever sit here and like me and Aaron Donald face off mano here. Like I'm looking for a stalemate. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping to catch him.
I just want to get
looking.
a push.
Yes,
I'm just trying to get.
Let's get the plus on the grade from the film and let's move on. But so you okay? It didn't surprise me to see that.
Do you know the video I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly the video you're talking about.
And the guy is like, he's so agile for his body type or body size.
I'm telling you, he's like that on film too, man. So it's like you see this guy, like we'd play, not now, but my year 2, my year 3, even year 1, I wasn't playing as much year 1, but it was like we'd play these guys and it'd be like they weren't that good. But we always had a hard time with them. Always. It would be like their record at the end of the year was 7-9. And those are the years where we were.
The Jeff Fisher head coach years.
And we were sitting there, won the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl, and the next 2 years went to the playoffs and lost to the team who ended up winning the NFC in Carolina and then Atlanta. Like we had some pretty good squads in Seattle. And it'd be like every year was like, man, we're going to go into St. Louis or L.A. and the game would be like 13-7. Like it'd just be this grimy, and it was always like, dude, the guy is just, he's a killer in there, man. You got to change your game plan to like, he will blow any run game up that he feels like. Except
in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Which was a defense, I think it was 13-3 Patriots, which was someone from the Patriots, someone on the defensive side of the Patriots should have won MVP. And I can't remember specifically that game, but
even that, I know he wasn't like getting crazy like stats that game, but it's like you don't think that they were sitting there all week like, hey, man, we've got to change our run game. We got to make sure you're doubling. Like, we got to take Aaron Donald out of this thing, and Tom Brady goes out and only puts 13 points up.
Yeah, which is great. That's why it was such a great defensive game. Okay, I got a couple more popular trends. you just went on about how you really use social media the way that many other people do in the regular Instagram chicks or whatever, and idiots like me. And over the past, 3-4 years, certain hugely popular trends come up, and I wonder if you've ever done one and just recorded it but never posted it, or posted it and later took it down. For instance, there was like the Harlem Shake, which was like, the built to the huge, beat drop and everybody's acting. Okay, there's the Harlem Shake. Then there's Ice Bucket Challenge, which was the greatest one ever. Yeah. People took that to crazy levels. Mannequin Challenge, just frozen. There was the In Your Feelings Challenge. Shout out to Shiggy in New York who started it. Kiki, are you right? Yeah. The Bottle Cap Challenge, more recently. And then, so have you done any of these published and then later deleted because you got peer pressured by, who was the dude, the fullback from
Nick Ballore, man. This guy's on me.
Just in your comments, it's like just the every side time. Eye or just eyeballs.
Or he's sending me the DM like, you're a loser, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, bro, I can't sneak anything by this guy.
He's probably got your account as an alert. Like anytime you post, it just comes up on his phone.
I haven't done and even attempted any of them. A few reasons. One is just simply about staying in my lane, man. Like, there's a lot of things that my body does well, and these dances are not one of them. Okay? They're just simply not one of them.
Are you like Kevin James in Hitch, where you just stay right in the pocket, like you're just here?
Yes.
When Will Smith's like, I just need you to be right here.
I would say it's a fair assessment.
Okay.
I would say it's, and then two, this might go a little conspiracy right here, man.
I like this.
Can we go into this?
Of course, because then we can go right to FaceApp.
Yeah. Perfect. Like I'm going to go right there. I'm going to go right there.
Owned by the Russian.
Yes, I'm going right to the Russian program.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and they're like, your face is going to look 40 years. This is how you're going to look when we take over the world. So we know who to look for.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm into this. Do you know how they do like trending based on your location?
Yeah, on Twitter or whatever.
Most of the year in America. But it's like, dude, I cannot go on Twitter and escape politics. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of a weird world for like anybody who considers themselves central or in the center, because it's like, no, dude, you're either over here or you're over there.
Yeah.
And if you're not, I hate you. And that's like how I just feel like Twitter is. I'm like, man, I just want to go on there. Like, what happened to the fun days of Twitter, man? Like 5 or 6 years ago, there was funny stuff trending on my page. Now it's just an absolute bloodbath on there. And now it's the Russian, collusion, no collusion. Let's just leave that for all the media pundits to figure out. But the one thing that everyone's agreed on is that these guys are making up fake people. And
the deep fakes.
The deep fakes is like an actual thing. Like, this isn't a conspiracy. And the groups to like antagonize each other and like start like these riots.
Yeah.
And then actually, my boy Mark Maris, who might be in the room right now, is putting my face on FaceApp the other day. I'm looking like I'm 90 years old. The next day I wake up, I go on Twitter, and I'm like, dude, great. Now the Russian whatever, the ex-KGB has my facial recognition, man.
Yeah. I'm right there. I was friends have done it to me too, and I purposely.
Mark Maris, bad guy, man. bad guy, Mark
That's
Maris.
a couple of strikes on his account.
Yes,
on his profile.
What I'm saying is like, so to answer your question is like, I just kind of like, I stick to my own lane on there. I'm not doing too many of the challenges. I kind of post here and there. My guy who helps me run it, who's also named Mark Maris, might be the same guy, is always ragging me to post more.
Right. We got to get Mark Maris in the gym while you're doing your footwork, so you're doing your box jumps, and you're doing whatever explosive friggin' drills you're doing.
There's no doubt. He would probably enjoy doing that, but the problem is he has an actual job and lives in a cool place called Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a tough sell to be like, hey, man, you want to come to Windsor to film some Instagram stuff?
Just, hey, I got a 2-bedroom condo. Just live in the other bedroom for like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Just create some content and stuff. I'm with you on the FaceApp, and I didn't get upset with some friends of mine, but I have seen my own face age 40 years because it's like everybody was doing it. It was like fun. And I'm sure in 6 months there'll be another thing that people will be enamored with, and that will be the new popular trend. But like,
now here's a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm not trying to toot your horn here, man, but it's like you're a Canadian, you're a legend, man.
Canadian,
Cabbie goes out.
Canadian, but then the legend I'm working on.
Come on now, man. So it's like, dude, everybody in the sporting world for sure knows. Like, I mean, I've been watching you since I was 12.
Appreciate you.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Back on, I don't know if I'm allowed to say
of
this,
course,
man,
the
but
score,
back
of
on the
course.
score,
Yeah, of course.
man. So what I'm saying is, like, do you ever get worried that when you post stuff, it's kind of also, like, I don't know if you've had any situations where you'll be like, yo, man, I'm here. Like, how's everybody doing? And then it's like, like people will find you on these Instagram pages, man. They'll find out who you're following. They'll be able to, like, piece things together about your life. He unfollowed this guy. He followed this guy. He posted from here. He's doing this. He's doing that. It's like, I've nothing too crazy, like where I'm like really, but there's been a few times where I was like a privacy thing too, and I'm not like mad at Instagram or anything like that, but I'm just kind of like, yo, this is kind of trippy that someone has put this all together and like figured out exactly where I'm going to be or what I'm going to do.
The simple answer to that is, I'm not as desirable as you.
I don't want to hear that.
No,
man.
it's a true story.
Let's see you at Marble. Let's see you at Marble.
Nobody cares what cereal I eat, although Captain Crunch is delicious. Nobody cares what restaurants I go to.
I don't know if I believe in that, man. I saw you out one night in Toronto, man. I saw you out.
Likewise. And King Street is a fun place to be when you just want to cut loose for a night and have some adult juice.
Yes.
So no one's really checking for me. When you're in the public eye, I am to a very small degree. I mean, you are much higher. You're on a higher elevated platform, obviously, because you're a champion and you're in the NFL. So, like, it's not. We don't have similar experiences, my friend. So you're
saying that's not a worry of yours.
No. Again, nobody's checking for me. I'll be on the bus, the public bus, and someone might be like, "Can we take a photo?" I'm like, "Sure," but it's not like I'm going to see Khalid in concert or Anderson .Paak, and I say, "Oh, I can't wait for the concert night." And then people are like, "Yo, I knew you were going to be here."
So
like, I don't have that.
Like, you don't get, "Hey, man, I'm going to put on my Instagram story, I'm whatever, I don't know. I've been giving Marble shout out left and right here, another Toronto spot, just like chilling, and somebody's showing up, being like, what's up?
No, that's never happened.
Or you got somebody hit you up like, yo, you're in Toronto? Why didn't you tell me? What are you doing?
Every once in a while, a couple of those, yeah.
You got any Raiders gear that you can come drop off? I'm like, dude, I don't even have any. Yeah, I mean, this is like a real thing. And it's like weird because I'm very bad. It's embarrassing to say, but I'm very, very bad with names. I'm very good with faces.
What's the hack that you do to try to remember somebody's name?
My go-to is if I'm with my boys, I'll be like, oh, have you met my boy Mark before? Just because Mark's saying right here.
And then what if you're solo at the airport or something?
Then I play, it's bad, but I play the dummy card. I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? How you been, man?
What's up, bro? Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my guy.
Yeah. Yes. Let's go.
I try to piece it together quickly.
Now, have you ever had the one where you don't recognize the face or the name?
Yes.
That's always like, and I have a very bad poker face, so I get the white ghost on that one. I'm like, who is this guy? Why does he know me? And why is he being so friendly?
Right.
Mainly, I mean, it's 99% of the time males.
Agreed. Yeah, me too. Yeah, we work in sports. I mean,
Yes.
we're just that's the audience is
Yes.
just generally dudes. This summer, your team will be featured on HBO's Hard Knocks.
Yes.
As a player, what have you heard about
Yeah.
the experience being featured on this award-winning show on HBO?
Yeah, so I've heard as a player it's brutal. And I'll tell you why. So like, let's say right now, I mean, obviously we're on camera, we know what's going on. But like this is a similar room in here to a meeting room in the NFL for tight ends. Obviously, like if you have the team, there's bigger rooms. But each facility you go to, it's like you've got your team meeting room, there's an offense and defensive room, and then there's a position room for everything. And it's like, I mean, you're grown men, don't get me wrong, but like especially during training camp, there's a lot of bitching. Let's go.
Yeah, fine.
We can
Bitching's
edit
fine.
bitching's out, all right?
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of like disgruntled, like dudes like, man, this long day. I've been in a hotel for 10 days. I'm 30 years old. I don't like people checking my curfew, blah, blah, blah. You're getting your brain punched in. That usually sets up an atmosphere for a lot of bitching.
Okay, got it.
I'm not a huge bitcher, but I think everybody falls suit. Like, oh, my body feels like death today, whatever. But you can't have conversations with Hard Knocks, I've been told, because the cameras are in the corners of every meeting room rolling 24/7. So it's like, I mean, let's say you're on a team. It's like, dude, like, I just had a hard day. Somebody pissed you off a little bit. And it's like you confide, like your boys right there, like, man, this coach like really bothered me today. I mean, it'd be a little more, again, it's usually not that buttoned up.
It'd be a little more profane.
Yes.
And a little more authentically honest.
Or like, man, I really hope we don't do this today. Or I really hope that this or that. Or I'm not looking forward to this. Or the other way, like, man, I really hope this like goes down. It's like now you're just always watching yourself. Like Big Brother is this is what I've been told, like always watching. And the moment you say something like, man, this coach pissed me off today or whatever.
That's going in the show?
They said it could, and it's like, oh, you know, let's say they do a feature on so-and-so. It's like, you know, they've got that weird, like, today on HBO Hard Knocks.
Yo, Liev Schreiber is the man. His voiceovers are sick.
But it's like,
shout out to Ray Donovan.
Not all the players love this coach or love the camp schedule, and then they take that tidbit out of you being like, you know, your one moment of weakness. It's like, it's just a really bad look.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be tracked during training camp. They said they told us the only safe place is in your actual hotel room.
Really? That's where the cameras
they said, are everywhere.
Right.
The other thing that, just to go the other way, is apparently I've heard from a few guys, they're like, just wait. You'll get a lot of guys that haven't said a word all of OTAs, all of a sudden become Captain America. You know, HBO's there.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's like, oh, we're going to work hard today.
Right,
we're going to do this,
right.
that, and the other. It's like, all right, dude, let's just try and keep this thing authentic. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So
yes.
I've heard that it's a bit of a mess for the player standpoint. I'm kind of on the fence right now of whether I should do some like trolling of HBO. I thought about walking in like day one with maybe a T-shirt that says Netflix greater than HBO. And then I was also going to go down like the whole. They told me I consulted a few people. They're like, that's not a good idea. But I was going to just make like these barbaric claims about HBO on T-shirts, like HBO supports big game hunting in Africa. You know, like just super offside stuff. Like HBO denies climate change, like just stuff like that. That'll maybe, and it, like nothing would tickle my heart more if I was getting interviewed and they had to blur my shirt out. But I was told that I should probably not do that.
Yeah,
so.
Listen, they'll have the last lap. They have the final edit.
And that's
then
kind of the thing.
You could be, you could have like some confrontation with a teammate, or you could be like, maybe you're just taking a moment for yourself. You're just thinking about something, but then they're playing like quirky music, and it just like you look like you're in your own little world, like you're some kind of space cadet, just like like whatever. But then you're just thinking of like the progressions or whatever.
100%.
You got to be careful.
Yes, so that's kind of what
I do like. I do like the idea of trolling, but then in the actual real world, then they might get you at the end.
Get me at the end, which the one who laughs last laughs best. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
And I don't think I'll have the last laugh with HBO. So I'm going down the straight and narrow, man.
Well, I listen. I look forward to watching because it's very compelling and it's beautifully shot and it's very well written.
Yeah.
And hopefully you get like, when some of the athletes are featured, you might get a day like you're like, oh, you're going to a yoga studio or whatever just to get your mind off of football, or there's like you're doing a day at the park, or it's in the Bay. So there's another Marshawn Lynch and Marcus Peters doing another, free picnic.
Yeah.
And then there you are in the batting cages, just like low angle, just ripping.
Yeah.
And then
shout out Cabbie. Send this film to the Blue Jays right now. we're in week 3 of camp. Like I'm thinking about trying my hand at baseball.
And listen, you got to speak it into existence for
no doubt.
Like it just in the summer months. We can just be like a 3-month player and then just bat 310.
Yeah.
And like, sorry guys, I got to go back to the Bay. Actually, we're going to Vegas next year.
Which no state income tax, big wins
in Nevada.
In Nevada.
Good for
California, not so much.
Right, that's like 39% or 40%. Like they get you big time in California. Me. Thank you very much for this. It's always a pleasure sitting down and speaking with you and hearing your unbelievable one-liners. And I look forward to seeing you ply your trade in 19 on those 16 Sundays, or maybe 14 Sundays. And you have a Thursday night and then a Monday night, however it is. And hopefully they treat you nicely on HBO Hard Knocks.
I appreciate that.
All right, good luck this season. Luke Willson, thank you, my dude.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.